Hi, and welcome to Business Spotlight. I am Tona with Action Coach Tampa Bay, and this is Thomas. Thomas, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Tom, tell us a little bit about what you do and how long you've been doing that.
Yeah, so I am a product owner for a cloud cost optimization company called Spot by NetApp. So NetApp is our parent company, and we currently have we operate it under the NetApp shell. I've been with NetApp for about 5 months now, and I've been in product leadership for just about a year. Before that, I was a software engineer for primarily Fortune 500 companies.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's cool. So who is your best customer?
We do have a few larger, more notable ones. There's one customer that is, I don't believe I can say exactly who they are at this point. We're waiting on an official, um, an official press release or deal
Sure.
with them.
No worries.
They're in the pipeline, but we also have we have several large company. I believe Ticketmaster is one of our largest ones.
Nice.
We have a few other large ones, but yeah,
Okay.
we essentially save many companies millions of dollars every year on their cloud computing costs.
I love that. So who would be a good customer for you? What would be a good, as folks are listening, they're like, oh, I need to call Tom.
A great customer for us would be really anybody who leverages your AWSs, your Azures, really anybody who is looking uh, to truly optimize their cloud space. A lot of times we find ourselves saving customers. I think roughly, we save you typically companies around 62%, I think,
Wow,
on
that's incredible.
their AWS cloud costs. Uh, yeah, and it obviously depends on the services that they leverage. But typically, if you're using the standard instances like RDS, EC2, things like that, we optimize really how you spend that and make sure you're leveraging cloud computing in an effective manner.
I love that. So what were some of the challenges and changes in the last couple of years that you faced?
So I think for me personally, a big challenge was from me going from an engineer to becoming more business facing myself. And a lot of engineers, you typically won't have, typically won't make that jump. However, what really helped me was I got my MBA and really took advantage of just being out there and trying to be not the standard software engineer. And I think, um, taking advantage of educational opportunities, whether that be through Holt International Business School, which I got my MBA from,
Mhm.
or Harvard Business School online, where I've gotten multiple certificates in corporate strategy. So doing things like that really helps any kind of transition. But the main thing is through that is if you never stop your personal growth, you will always be better and better, and things will just kind of flow easier from there.
Right. Okay, gotcha. So what was one of the biggest learnings you've had since starting your business?
Yeah. So within NetApp, so my biggest learning, I would say I took disruptive strategy from Harvard Business School. It was taught by Clay Christensen. He's passed away, I think, recently,
Hmm.
or I think a few years ago. But those recordings are still there, and a lot of those lessons still apply. Granted, those classes were for more general business strategy, but they applied incredibly amount towards product and
Wow.
how to strategically position your product in a better way. So that was probably the biggest thing I've learned is just strategic product placement and how to make adjustments to your product to appeal to a broader audience. Yeah, disruptive strategies from Clay Christensen
I love that. That is
cannot
great.
pass that up.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation. So do you have anything coming up that you want to share with the community or any offers?
What we have coming up is we're my individual product. We are kind of expanding a lot of that functionality, which is great.
Okay.
But Eco by Spot in general is again, it can save, companies a lot of money on their cloud costs. To put in perspective, before I joined Spot by NetApp, I was working with a Fortune 500 company, and I was managing 3 different products.
Mhm.
And each of my products they weren't effectively using their AWS cloud spends, but they're averaging each product. I think we had projected $100,000 a month
Hmm.
in cloud costs for each individual product. So total $300,000 a month over a year, $3.6 million in cloud costs.
Mhm.
And when I was learning about my current product, I always took that as a reference. Like, if I could save, half, how many
Yeah.
how many talented developers could I bring on if I, just saving in cloud costs?
Mhm.
If we're talking half, that's $1.3 million, and that could be an entire team of, I think the median software engineering pay is 120,000 nowadays.
Mhm.
So yeah, 1.3 billion is 10 developers, and that's a whole development team in just savings for
Wow.
cloud costs. So a lot of companies aren't optimized in their cloud use. So I recommend for if you're an AWS or Azure customer, reach out to Spot by NetApp, and our account management and our sales professionals will definitely steer you and help show you how much more you can actually be saving.
I love that. That is great. What is a internet address to get to that information that you're talking about?
Yeah, let's see this. I think it is. Let's see if this is it. Just want to confirm that. Yeah, if you just go to spot.io, and we have
Spot.io.com.
nope, just spot.io.
.io. Okay, gotcha.
Yep, and yeah, we go for we really help out, save a significant amount of money on just everyone's cloud utilization.
Love it. Love it. So, Tom, I got to ask you, so what inspires you and keeps you motivated?
What inspires me and keeps me motivated? Um, let's see. That's a really good question. So I would say, one, just having previous experience seeing, being with a company where my, my teams personally could have saved well over $1 million on cloud
Wow.
costs a year. That helps. But in addition, I think the biggest thing when you're a product leader
Mhm.
is trying to understand the job to be done and how to
Mm.
execute on that on a whole nother level. And I think the biggest thing that I want to do is I always want to continue learning new things, greater things. But from my education, I've gained this understanding is if you have a complete understanding the job to be done, how can you make sure you execute on that job to be done?
Mhm.
And I think the biggest motivating thing is for me is finding new and creative ways to continue to execute on that job.
I love that. I love that. Well, Tom, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. This has been great. I want to thank everyone for being here for Business Spotlight. I am Tona, Action Coach Tampa Bay, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds great. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.